Thank you, Lord Mayor. Question to the Cabinet Member for Environment and Transport, Councillor Majid Mahmood. As I've discussed with him, Acocks Green hasn't had an MHWC visit since the 3rd of March. Now, clearly, suitable locations need to be found in the current situation. But isn't it a shame that the offer from the leading community interest company in the wards to host one has not yet been taken up?
Cabinet Member to respond.
Thank you, Lord Mayor. Can I refer Cllr Harmer to my email to him today at approximately 12:20 p.m. when we were in the same room? Thank you.
Councillor Harmer, do you have a supplementary?
Well, he can refer to that. He says he'd look at it. I would like a comment on the fact that it's a shame that when community organisations put forward, in response to a request from Councillor Mahmood, that isn't taken up, whereas the plans are made for collections on supermarkets that then they decide, quite understandably, perhaps in the circumstances, that they don't then want to carry on with. But I would like to follow up by really asking a particular question about the booking system at the tips. Now, given that we haven't had an MHWC visit in Acocks Green for so long, lots of residents are trying to book at the tip. Now, I understand that there is potentially an issue with phantom bookings, which is making it difficult. But given that, couldn't we either look at opening the system up to how it was before COVID, or at least looking at overbooking in proportion to the number of bookings that are phantom bookings? Thank you, Lord Mayor.
Cabinet Member.
Thank you, Lord Mayor. Lord Mayor, I had a challenge with a couple of colleagues of mine that I would only answer in one sentence. I failed that challenge miserably because I can't help myself but to give a more detailed response to the supplementary question that Cllr Harmer has submitted to myself. In terms of the mobile household recycling centres, I would like to place on record my thanks to all of the community organisations, religious institutions and volunteer groups who have freed up their space so that we can deploy the mobile household waste centre. Given the current climate where we've had the number of visitors times 10 what we're normally used to, from 150 average to about 1,500. This weekend we had a very successful mobile household waste centre at the Sparkbrook Islamic Centre, which was led by former Councillor Mohammed Ishtiaq, who's the chair of the Sparkbrook Islamic Centre. We had 46 volunteers at the centre who effectively offloaded all the items that the residents bought. We had in excess of 1,300 visits by car and more than 700 at the second car park that was made available for those with wheelie bins to dispose of their waste. The booking system at the household recycling centres, twice we've extended the times for that. One a few months back and then again yesterday, where there's an additional 5,500 slots now available a week. All of the household recycling centres are now open from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m, save for Lifford Lane, which is open from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. We are looking at some of these, I would call it phantom bookings, where people have booked. It's not as high as people are thinking. There is a small rate of about, I think it's 4 to 5%. I just need to double check with the officers. But we are monitoring that to make sure it's no different to what it was this time last year. In terms of the tonnage that we've had at the household recycling centres, it's gone up by 7,000 tonnes between January 17th of 2024 to March 17th of 2024 of the equivalent time this year. It's gone up by 7,000, which is approximately 25% increase. So I'd like to place on record my thanks to all of the residents, and especially those residents who are helping their neighbours, their friends, the vulnerable people, elderly people on their roads to dispose of their waste in a safe manner. And as Councillor Zakir Chowdhury said, what we don't want is to see people just dumping black bags onto the roads. But in order to alleviate the current pressure that we have in street cleaning, the ground maintenance teams are working hand in hand with street cleaning teams. We have offers of support from our neighbouring councils. We've hired 10 grab lorries now. You've probably seen footage of them across the street, and they're going around effectively grabbing all of the black bags that we have across the street. Thank you to all of the councillors as well, who have been working tirelessly with their residents across the city, informing them of the updates and the collections that take place. And this week, since Friday, we are on track to reach a level of about 90% in terms of household collections. So hopefully we will get there in the end. Thank you, Lord Mayor.
Councillor Hughes.
Thank you, Lord Mayor. My question is for the Cabinet